In this video, I would like to demonstrate an approach to line and wash painting that I think might be interesting to try for those who like this technique. Instead of contrasting my lines against the wash, I will blend them together so they create a kind of organic whole. My subject will be a ballerina. When I create line and wash sketch, I usually paint a colorful watercolor wash and then I use black or some sort of a contrasting line tool to add the outline. When I found this reference photo, the photo is black and white, so I thought maybe I could pare down the colors and create more of a monochromatic sketch where the line will complement the wash and not contrast with it. Materials I'll be using for the sketch are Hippie Crafter's watercolor paper. It's 50% cotton, good quality paper, but not super expensive. I'm planning on using two watercolor pigments, Daniel Smith's Moonglow and maybe some indigo from the same brand. I have a 25 color set of watercolor brush pens. They're also by Hippie Crafter, and in that set I am confident I can find a marker that will match the watercolors that I selected to where the outline will become part of that watercolor painting and not stand out too much. I'm starting by sketching my ballerina with a pencil. I need just a general outline. If you're interested in improving your skills in sketching people, I have a class available where I teach the method of sight measuring when doing your quick sketches. It's much faster and easier than measuring with a pencil. So if you're interested in that subject matter, I left you the link in the description box below under this video. It's one of my most popular classes, and a lot of students told me that that technique really helped them to improve their figure sketching skills. I'm going to start with the watercolor wash. That way I can keep it loose. I will not be restrained by the outlines already existing on the page. I am using flat brushes and Moonglow to fill in all the space around my ballerina. I am painting her negatively. The edges I'm creating with her, I don't want to cover the whole sheet of paper. I am kind of feathering out the brush strokes to have that very expressive and kind of effortless sketch. Squint when looking at the reference photo, I can see all the dark areas very clearly, and I will also paint the shadows on the ballerina herself because she's not flat. Obviously she has some volume, so I need some lighter shadows on the body. I have to be a little bit careful not to over darken them, but they will exist. Applying a lot of pigment on the background. Important to keep the background the same tone on both sides of the ballerina, otherwise it will look very strange, like she's cutting into the background. So I'm applying more pigment to balance out the background. Hint at the floor, she needs something to stand on, some kind of hinting at those stage boards under her feet behind her. I like how white is this watercolor paper. I think it's very good choice for sketching and for experimentation. Like I said, it's not as expensive as 100% cotton paper, but at the same time, it has good absorbency and it allows me to work very easily with mixed media because it's not super textured. Tried applying ultramarine blue to darken the background around the ballerina even more, but I didn't like it, so I'm switching to my original intent to the indigo and can mix in that ultramarine blue in there. It actually doesn't look bad if you tone it down. By itself it was just too saturated, too bright. That's not my idea for this sketch. And I'm going to darken all the areas around the ballerina with indigo. Still using the same small flat brush with lots and lots of pigment because I want her to contrast with the background, stand out against the background. That creates the illusion of her being lit with bright stage lights. This is all I'm going to do with watercolor. I know that wash looks pretty awful right now. She's kind of shapeless blob for now, but we will keep working and hopefully it will get better. I have an indigo brush pen here in the set, so that's what I'm going to use. I don't want to use black because I think it will be too stark and will contrast too much with the background. My background is not black, you know, it's indigo, so I think dark blue or maybe even dark gray a marker will look much better. I'm messing up her face. It's a difficult angle. I will definitely need a white marker to make corrections and bring back the highlights. But I'll keep working with the brush pen for now, looking at the reference photo and verifying the outlines of my ballerina, adding the details, not encasing her in an enclosed outline. It's important to leave little breathing spaces in that outline. Just makes the drawing a lot better. That face really bothers me. I'm going to get my water-based white Sharpie and make corrections to the face. Okay, this looks like, it looks much better, looks like a face. Can also fix that headdress that she has, those feathers. And I will just continue working with my marker, finding a few places where I need to add that darker outline and where I need to verify the outline and add a little bit more precision to my drawing. This is a very quick sketch. I like to sometimes switch it up and work on something that doesn't take hours of work. It's all good practice, especially if you have something on your schedule and you can dedicate hours to your artwork that day, but you can still do something. Let me know in comments what you think about this style of sketching. Do you like this more restrained kind of tonal drawing where the outline doesn't stand out against the background? Or you prefer something more colorful, something more contrasting? I'm going to put a few finishing touches with my white marker. That white water-based Sharpie is slightly transparent, so it's really good to show that gauze on her skirt, and it kind of mixes with watercolor brush pen as well, creating soft shadows. I want to soften her skirts. They're kind of semi-transparent in some places. Maybe a little more on the skirt. Kind of looks a little flat. Let's add some volume. Very tempting to add a bunch of details and a bunch of black lines, but I am resisting because I want the sketch to look very fresh and kind of spontaneous and effortless. The last thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to connect this ballerina a little bit better to the edges of my painting. And I'm going to do with these little white dots, kind of like a sprinkle of fairy dust all around her. It's gonna be lights in the distance. And my sketch is done. I'm going to sign it. Here is the final result. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one here on Timer Up Studios channel. Help other artists to see this video by liking or sharing it. To see future videos, subscribe and click the bell button to be notified when they're published. Thanks again and stay creative!